Okay. Where is dear heart? Bear with me, you guys. Bear with me. Let's see here. There you are, dear heart. Hello. Can you hear me? Hold on. Hold on. I can't hear you. Oh, here.
About.
There we go.
Can you? Okay, good.
I mean, we
Yay!
did it. Okay. I had so much anxiety about this. just getting it to work, right?
Yeah, of course. Yep. Part of the divine flow, so to speak, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Just kind of going with the flow and just been a beautiful day and doing what I can to stay warm because it's definitely a little bit cold outside. So, how about you?
Absolutely. I'm doing wonderful. I'm doing wonderful. I'm very excited about this. And I want to thank you for joining me today.
Yeah.
This is actually my first time going live ever anywhere. So
Wow.
I've been doing content for years, but I've never gone live. So I'm very grateful to have you here. And I want to reinforce the fact that this is just meant to be casual conversation between two highly conscious individuals. I don't want any pressure. I don't want to have to stick to a certain format. I just want you to be able to share, myself to be able to share, and hopefully some people can gain something from this conversation, right? So, why don't we start by you introducing yourself and telling the audience a little bit about what you do, um, or just what your spiritual insights are, spiritual gifts, and things like that.
Yeah, goodness. Where do you even start? Well, my name's Amy. I also want to acknowledge the name Dear Heart, right? So that guidance came through with a name that I wasn't born with. But I think that when that happens, there's a new embodiment that's taking place. So I am getting to know this aspect of myself as I step more fully into that. So it felt good to just to try it on. So that's where the Dear Heart comes from. I do feel called to just share from my heart the message that came through when Dear Heart came through. And it was during a meditation and a retreat weekend. And she came through with, I am the embodiment of the divine feminine and divine masculine. So I just welcome in that balance of the divine
Balance.
feminine. Yes.
My
And
thought, my first
masculine.
thought, exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I have been walking a shamanic path since my awakening, which started in 2014. And it just continues to evolve and grow. I was not, at that point in time, I was not in tune with my intuitive gifts so much. You and I share, I'm going to say, the numbers as a commonality with our own unique journeys. So that's been a big part of my journey. I do sacred geometry, healing arts, sound therapy. So, sound journeys, just really anything related to, I'm going to say, walking a shamanic path, whether it's healing, working with the plant kingdom, animal kingdom. There's so much to it, not. I feel like each person is really unique in their own ways when it comes to this work. So, yeah. Thank
Absolutely.
you.
Absolutely. And for those of you that don't know who I am, my name is Demetra Douglas. I am a master numerologist. I'm an inner work specialist. I am also a published author, and a new venture of mine is actually end of life doula for animals and their families. So, um, yes, numbers are my thing, right? Very much so. And if you're familiar with my content, and if you've watched me for any length of time, you know that numbers are my jam. So that's going to really be the substructure of today's conversation. In addition to that, maybe Amy and I should share how we met, how we came across each other, right? Should you share? Or do you want me to?
Go for it. Yeah, I feel
Okay.
that feels
Okay.
good.
Okay. So spiritual and business mentorship, right? Containers, okay, is really how Amy and I came across each other. Specifically working with Jeffrey Wilson, who is a master healer, vibrational healer, a brilliant mind, highly conscious and a very beautiful person that is helping us align with our purpose and our um, most aligned version of our reality, right? That's how I want to word it. So, yeah, and I love her. I think she's phenomenal, and I'm grateful that she's here today. Now, Amy,
Yes.
let's get into the cosmic dance. Why don't we start there?
Mhm.
Why don't we start there? Why don't you give your insights? I can add mine, and then we'll travel a little bit more into just the overall frequency of 2025 in general and what I really see as far as the energetic forecast. And then you can add to that as well.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you. So for those of you that have never even heard of the cosmic dance, what does that even mean? What is that? So right now in this time frame, on January 25th is when all 7 planets align. So really is these different planets coming into alignment that creates the cosmic dance. Um, on a shamanic level, I like to work with the natural world. I personally believe that we as energetic beings, the energetics of the cosmos, even the moon, the full moon, new moon, can really impact and influence our lives. And each new moon or full moon is typically connected with a planet too during that time. So that influences us. Um, so each of these different planets that are coming into alignment, in the 25th, it's not very common to have 7 in a row. That's what makes it so significant. Um, to allow ourselves to reflect in our own lives of what's showing up energetic. For those who might know a little bit more about the planets or astrology, you typically know how the planets are working with your sign, with your own energy. So we can have our sun sign, we can have our moon sign. There's so many different aspects to play in, but to really take a step back and look at our own lives, this is a really beautiful time to reassess what direction we're going. If we set intentions for the new year, for me, I like to choose a word and allow that word to be my guiding light for the year, so to speak. Maybe you want to shift that. So, this is a really beautiful time just to really take a pause, take a sacred pause, and feel into what your soul, your heart is saying to you, what direction to go. Maybe you're not to go in a direction. Sometimes we need to be in that uh, stillness, that waiting room, so to speak, and then something will show up.
Yes.
So, yeah. And then, of course, the numerology of the date, right? So, this has been actually happening when we had the full moon, is actually when you could see Mars very clearly by the moon,
Mhm.
right?
That's
And
what
now
that
we,
was.
yep. And now
I
we've
knew it was something special, but I'm not an astrologer.
Yeah, I'm not either. I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah.
sharing just a little bit of what I know, what
Mhm.
has come into my awareness anyway. And then we've had 6
Mars.
more aligned since then. And on the 25th is when that 7th comes into play. Um,
That's Mercury, correct?
I'll need to double check. I don't want to
Okay.
say
I
exactly.
think I saw that it was Mercury
Okay. Okay.
coming to join up.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, this
But
is
I would
exciting.
love for you actually to speak on your own personal experience if you're open to it.
Mhm.
So, with us having 6 aligned right now, what that's energetically saying, when we have the 7th show up, what that's energetically saying, and then here we are moving into the January 25th. So, it's
Mhm.
1/25 of 2025. So, there's a lot that plays into this.
Yes. Okay, let's talk about numbers, you guys. Let's talk
Okay.
about the numbers here. So, astrology is a beautiful craft. It's a separate craft. Some people like to combine the two, which is fine. But what I'm trying to say is that planets in and of themselves hold such detailed frequencies, right? That it's also that's going to be an additional layer of energetic influence, right? So which planet is joining up? right, is going to be very important, right? So if it is in fact Mercury, which I believe it is, we're talking about 6. So 6 is the number of the diurnal matters, the domestic life, work, the day-to-day life, okay? Mercury is the planet of what? Communication, right? Intellect, right? The thinking process, the thought process. 7 is the number of opposition, darkness, wounding, foes, transformation, okay? It is also the number of Jehovah, right? The God that governs this realm of reality, okay? So this is important to understand. So what I am perceiving is that, and it's already happening, and we are going to get into this conversation deeply in a moment when we really get into the date and when we really get into the to understanding the frequency of 2025 in general. So it's already happening that the day-to-day life of many, right? And I'm not here to sugarcoat anything. I'm not here to try and make it, yes, we are all spiritually sovereign. We are all creators. But there are also frequencies at work, and there are going to be incredibly oppositional frequencies at work this year. This is very important to understand. This is why understanding the true resonance of 7 is vital this year. Because while 2025 in its totality totals 9, right? When you think of that initial component of 2025, 20 is much more of a general governance, meaning it's going to last a longer period of time than just the 25 governance, which only lasts this year. So this year, I would argue the focus is more deeply 7 than 9. Okay. When we talk about what's coming, right, we're talking about people's rights being revoked. We're talking about I just read the Equal Employment Act revoked, right? These things are being revoked politically, and it is causing a lot of upset in people's day-to-day lives, and people are, I mean, trans rights, right? All of these different aspects of the day-to-day life of the family unit also, right? Pushing conservative views and expecting certain things. This is going to be about jumping now on a more intimate, personal level. When we're talking about jumping from 6 to 7, we're talking about the gaining of awareness. We are talking about the mundane to someone that actually has earned the right to see in the dark. So we are talking about someone that is being able to acknowledge the darkness that's going on around us and really sit with it and really understand it. This is about awakening. This year is truly going to be about awakening. And yes, we could argue every day is, but awakening truly occurs in adversity. Awakening truly occurs when you are forced to witness um, discomfort and very uncomfortable things around you. So that's what I perceive there. And when it comes to planetary alignment in general, right? Alignment, that word, whether it's astrology or any other practice, right? When we're talking about planets specifically, planets all hold an individual frequency. So if you consider all of those frequencies aligning, what is that going to look like? What is that gift going to be as far as the 125/2025 portal, right? Each planet is meant to represent a frequency, and in combination, represents the totality of the human experience and the human psyche, right? With this portal, authenticity is key. What you think, right? And you've talked about this. I saw it on Facebook and I completely agree with it, right? What you think, what you feel, what you say, what you show love toward, what you teach, all need to be in alignment. That is the true sense of authenticity, right? These are all going to be very important this year. And when we talk about the date specifically, so let's get into the numerology there. 125/2025. In order to decode this sequence, we are going to isolate the initial digit because there is an odd number of digits in the sequence. We are then going to decode the remaining digits 2 digits at a time. The focus of the sequence is 1, which is the number of what, right? If 0 is source, that initial 0-point frequency is source. 1 is that moment where we step into our individuality, right? This is about focusing on us and our alignment, right? And our misalignment, because there are going to be things happening in people's lives that are going to, force them in certain directions and cause a different trajectory because something's not in alignment at this time. Now, when we talk about 25, 25 is a number I talk about a lot, actually. It's actually when I teach about something that I call the 2 pathways of darkness. There are 2 of them. We have 257 and we have 857. 257 is a number that means something that has been done to us, causing discomfort in us and oppositional or dark behavior. Oftentimes it's addiction or emotional discord, okay? 857 is a frequency that represents something we've done to others, causing discomfort and misalignment within ourselves. 25 is the 257 frequency because we have 2, we have 5, totaling 7. 2 is also the number of the inner child. 5 is also the number of the ego. And 7 is also the number of the shadow self. So when we talk about alignment and the importance of 7 planets being in alignment, and we talk about the 3 most prominent aspects of the psyche being present in this number, we are talking about the importance of inner work. We are talking about the importance of inner knowing thyself, inner alignment. Because we're talking about 1 in the beginning of the sequence. If it was, let's say, for example, 2 in the beginning of the sequence, I'd be having a different conversation, right? This is about aligning with this portal, aligning with this planetary alignment by aligning with ourselves. In short, right? In short, when we talk about 2025, that's a double up of that frequency. It is just confirming the importance of alignment this year. And what people don't understand is that alignment is, like you said, balance of feminine and masculine, right? It's about alignment of those concepts, but it's also about alignment of our own psyche and the different components of that, which includes light and dark, right? This is going to be a year of people having to really see the darkness in this world that they have tried to avoid for so long. We cannot avoid it anymore. We cannot avoid it anymore. When we talk about 125, 2025. So the way I'm looking over here because I wrote this down. I also broke it down. We have, when you combine 2 and 5, you get 7. When you combine 2 and 0, you get 2. When you combine 2 and 5, you get 7 again, and then carry down the 1. So that's giving us a new sequence of 1727 to talk about. 17 is literally the number of a being navigating the realm of darkness. Navigating the realm of darkness. And then when you talk about 27, you are talking about relational opposition, right? But when we total that, we also get 9, which is the number of mastery, which is the number of endings and new beginnings. So this is definitely going to be a year of relational changes. Relational changes. Now, what are your thoughts on that before we jump into 2025 in general, which is I have a whole different conversation really just to get a little bit deeper about this topic. What are your thoughts on the importance of inner alignment as far as the current spiritual climate of things?
Yeah. So here we are in this world of duality, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
It just is.
Mm-hmm.
Without happiness or without sadness, we don't know happiness as greatly as we do. If we're all part of the one, the whole,
Mm-hmm.
whether it be light or darkness, it all belongs in the ways it does, but not to necessarily be afraid of the darkness, right? To see it, to face it, to embrace it and let it go, so to speak. I feel like everything that shows up in our lives is there as a catalyst, whether it's for our own personal growth or the collective change that's taking place. So how we show up in relation with it is significant. Um, a lot of what's happening in the world can be really scary right now. We had the California fires, hurricanes that came through, and there's just so much that's out there, which can cause us, it throws us off center, so to speak. But if we can remember to come back to ourselves, to come inward, to connect with what I call spirit,
Yeah.
or the spirit of who we are, source energy,
Mhm.
like whatever that is for you, connecting to the earth that we are of, right? We are of the stars, the heavens, and the earth. But that clear channel, and when we can make decisions and steps from there, no matter what's going on in the outside world, it is our own inner guidance and our intuition, our inner GPS that is going to lead the way, that is going to give us what we need. So we need to remember to come back to the center of who we are.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad you mentioned that, because when I combine the sequence even further, we get 8 and 9. We get 8 and 9. And 8 is the number of spirit. 8 is the number of that realm that holds creation, deity, all of these beings, archonic energies, angels, demons, all of these forces that contribute to human experiences. Mastering that, understanding the darkness as well as the light of it, embracing it, working with it, honoring it, and knowing that that's what's important. Like, I know this coming from spiritual beings, right? Like, the mundane to me, can't stand the mundane. Everything is spiritual. Everything is spiritual. And I look at this year and these energies and everything that's happening. I'm like, what spiritually are we needing to learn right now? What are we wanting to focus on? Alignment. And then we have 9. And we're talking about the number of mastery, right? This is a year of spiritual mastery by way of darkness, by way of opposition, by way of discomfort. It's forced growth if you allow it to be. Otherwise, people are going to be miserable. But if you embrace it as the gift, in a space, it's like an energetic space where we are able to truly transform internally if we allow it to be what it is. Um, this is going to be very important. So I absolutely agree with you. I absolutely agree with you, because it isn't until people walk through darkness that they're ready to truly embrace their light. They don't understand the difference yet. They don't understand. People, we have to endure great trauma, pain, adversity, discomfort, sorrow, horrors, and heal from that to truly be able to call ourselves, spiritual beings. That's how it works. There's a reason why 7 comes before 8, comes before 9, right? And then 6 is before that, the mundane number. Okay, to break from the mundane, you have to be willing to walk through darkness and be able to learn from it. Otherwise, we're not understanding half of this realm of reality, half of all creation in general, right? Like you had mentioned, it's about balance. Yin and yang is my favorite symbol for a reason, right? Yeah. Now, as far as your perspective, a shamanic perspective specifically speaking, what do you think people can do? I've said my part, right? The importance of inner work, the importance of knowing thyself and understanding all aspects of your own mind to help you master yourself emotionally, master your interpersonal interactions, so on and so forth. Are there any other spiritual um, tools, so to speak, that people can use to remain in alignment, especially as the state approaches in 3 days?
I like to look at the world as living ceremony, really,
Yeah.
from the moment we wake up, you know, the energetic aspect of that. How am I starting my day? Can I take a breath of fresh air first? Creating whatever that ritual is for yourself.
Yeah.
Um, I personally like to give thanks to the life force energy, that which created me, that which is breathing through me, right? So when I can be in relation with all that is around me and call forth what can assist me in my daily life,
Yeah.
that makes a huge difference. our energetic hygiene, what we're watching, who we're connecting with, just anything in our field. I mean, it all plays into it. So, really paying attention to what you're saying yes to, but to also paying attention to what we're saying no to, right? Because for every no is actually a yes to something else.
Yeah. 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 And I love your energy, Amy, because you're so love and light. Like you are. You are. So in numerology terms, you would be described as a highly 9 energy being, right? So I love that you're telling people, look, these, like I'm saying these are the frequencies we're facing this year. And you're saying, but look, remember,
Yes.
you're the creator. You choose what you focus on, right? You can choose to go outside and connect with nature, or you can choose to watch the news and worry, right? You are absolutely right, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that when we talk about the 2025 frequency in general. It's like one of the most important things I want people to know is the importance of connection, connection with self, right? But connecting with others. So there are a lot of spiritual people right now that are saying this is a year of the hermit. I don't agree with that at all. I don't agree with that at all, because that's going to be a less healthy reaction to what's going on. This is going to be a year of connection, hence the 2 energy, right? Interpersonal. This is about saying hello to people in the grocery store, right? This is regardless of what your political beliefs are, your spiritual beliefs are. How about we have a heart-centered connection for a moment and say hello and strike up conversation, right? I did that the other day, and the teller, she's like, "Do you know him?" I said, "No, I don't." Oh, she thought we were together or something. I said, "No, I'm just saying hello to this man because he's here." And it's important. It's going to be very important this year for us to connect. Absolutely. Absolutely important. Now, I want to get a little bit further into 2025 in general. And I have some notes written down because I want to make sure I cover all of this. I want to point out the importance of 2 frequency. I want to point out the importance of 0 frequency. I want to point out the importance of 5 frequency, 7 frequency, and 9 frequency. These are very important numbers to understand the resonance of for this year and what we are going to be looking at. This, unfortunately, and these are going to be, lower vibrational anticipations, but it is what it is. This is definitely going to be a year of censorship, unfortunately, especially on social media. It's already happening. It's already happening. Us not being able to say what we want to say. We get flagged on social media for saying anything negative about, politics, or saying anything negative about anything like that. It's happening. It's happening. People getting flagged. The whole TikTok debacle, right? It was banned, then it wasn't banned, and now that it's come back, it's weird, and like the algorithm's different, and the censorship has been kicked up several notches. This is going to be a year of relational restriction and discomfort, leading to opposition. And in other words, this is going to be a year that's heavily going to include fighting with others over beliefs, differing beliefs. Yeah, differing beliefs. Because of this frequency, there are going to be many moments of discord that are going to allow you, right, realization about others around you and true colors being revealed. Our own as well, right? Because 257 is internal as well as external frequency. We all have triggers. We all have reactions, especially when it comes to our beliefs and people not agreeing with them or having different ones, right? There are going to be many moments of this, many moments of this. And because of the 9 frequency here, this is going to be a year of really having to be honest with yourself, like you said, about what and who you're saying yes to. Because if it doesn't align, again, we need to focus on that word alignment with who you truly are and what you truly believe. We need to be mindful of that. Now, 9 is the number of endings as well as new beginnings. So there are going to be many pivoting moments here this year for many people. having to pivot, having to end certain circumstances to begin new ones, having to end certain relationships, but also having the courage to say hello to new relationships and new connections, right? Inner work is definitely vital because, like we said, as within, so without. Now, the more aligned we are inside, the more mastered we are over our reaction.
You just muted yourself. Okay. Can't hear you yet. Yeah, it looks like it's still showing. There you go.
Can you hear me?
Yep, you're
That
good.
was weird.
You're back.
I didn't even do anything.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Anyway, weird.
Oh, it did it again. It muted you again. We got some good stuff coming through. Oh, goodness.
Can you hear me?
Yep, you're back on.
Perfect. I just had to turn the mic off.
Okay.
So this is going to be, see this 7, the number of opposition. I'm telling you. Anyway, so the more aligned we are inside, it's as within, so without. The more aligned our external experiences are going to be. Like you were mentioning, this is about spiritual mastery this year. So regardless of what's going on around us, we are the creators of our own reality. We just are. So the more we stay aligned with ourselves, the less external turmoil will impact us. And that's just the reality of things. And not being afraid to expand our relational tendencies. In other words, connecting with others, saying hello to others, right? This is going to be vital this year. And it's just interesting because when we talk about all of these things happening and all of these fears coming to the forefront, fear can't win this year. No. Right? And like they say, the opposite of fear is not courage, but love. Right? Jeffrey said that, and I completely agree with him. So
absolutely. Yes.
it is my hope that this year people can really understand that. People are going to grow. People are going to need to look beyond ego and really pay attention to what is important. Really take time to fuel their own light and fuel themselves and connect with people, right? Regardless of censorship that may happen online, we're not censored in real life, not yet. So when we can continue to connect with people, like-minded people, people that, also want to help better this world, that is going to be the key. Focus is another very important word this year. Alignment, authenticity, focus, and love.
I love where you're going with this. What comes up for me in relation is almost like connecting with others that are on the same page.
Yeah.
Growing our community. The cool thing about the internet now and these different forms of connecting is we can connect with others all over the world.
Yeah.
Building our allies, and even if we don't have the same beliefs or outlooks, to go inward and just explore, be curious, because that childlike curiosity, there's something to that.
Yeah. The inner child, right? That two energy again. Absolutely. Amy, thank you so much for your time. I think this is great. I think this is a great message. And I really hope that we can do this again.
Yeah, me too. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. I also want to acknowledge one thing that I love about you that's different from other numerologists, so to speak, is you explored the vibrations, the numbers themselves in your own way.
Yeah.
You were a channel for a different wavelength, a different perspective to come through.
Yeah.
So thank you for speaking on what these numbers are, this time that we're in.
Yeah.
I do want to encourage each of us, if we have the opportunity, the best time to really see the planets, you can use binoculars too, is right after sunset. That's going to be the best time. But just to go outside, be in that energy,
Yeah.
be in the pureness of it, receive. Even though things are dark, right? Nighttime sky, there can be a peace within it too.
Yeah, absolutely. Right? Primordial darkness, as they say, right? This is important. It's like my aesthetic in general is darker, right? I am someone that adores the power of darkness to a certain extent. I rebuke other aspects of it. I spend way too much money clearing my energy field to engage with anything that is low frequency, low vibrational. But and let's be clear about that also, right? But like you said, for me personally, my number system, so Demetra's number system, it came through not only as a numerology system, but a path toward ascension, right? Because each frequency, so individual numeric frequencies, for example, we have 10 through 19. These are each frequencies that go up for a certain reason, right? The idea is to ascend, right? And so by helping others understand the ascension process and helping others understand, be able to map, so to speak, where their work has landed them, right? And what still needs to be worked on. If you truly tap into the art of numerology, right? I describe numerology as a technical means of navigating frequencies, right? So yeah, time is a construct, but to a numerologist, it's a tool. It's a
Absolutely.
divination tool. I look at that construct at the right time. I understand what frequency I'm reading, right? So this is important because the goal is ascension. The goal is growth, period. We're here to grow. Earth is school. We're here to grow. And that's why it's important for people like us to sit here and share our perspectives, because some people can't see it yet, you know? So I appreciate you so much, Amy, and thank you for your time.
Likewise. Thank you. And
Thank
thank you
you.
to,
And
yes.
do you want to share what's happening this weekend for anyone that might just so happen to see this?
What? I'm sorry. For some reason, it's just, what are you referring to? I apologize.
Your retreat. Your retreat.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So I actually have two
Okay.
events that are taking place this weekend. So I have a retreat that I'm actually co-leading with another wonderful individual. Yeah, I'm in the Kansas City area. By all means, if you are in Missouri or Kansas City or open to coming out this way, would love to have you at either event. So overnight retreat, manifestation work, but I don't like to see as manifestation because really I like to co-create with the universe, right? But to still tap into that inner guidance to receive those next steps, so to speak. And then I do a sound bath with my beloved Polly, and it's going to be at an indoor saltwater pool. So beautiful way just to go inward and explore those energies, but be held by the waters at the same time. So
I love it so much.
yeah.
So beautiful. And see, you guys, these are the type of things that we should be focusing on this year, not the news. Okay. Doesn't mean put your head in the sand, doesn't mean ignore what's happening, but it's understanding your own spiritual sovereignty and the fact that fear should not be subjugating you and your essence and your being and your light. No, this is going to be a year of you gaining the ability to see in the dark and be able to shine regardless of it.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Talk soon, honey. Bye.
Yeah, bye.